Hey guys, it's Chris from Fairly Awesome Podcast with this week's Fairly Awesome WTF movie review.
Oh, what the f***? Is this for real?
This week's film, requested by some Hat Malum on YouTube named... Hat Malum, thanks, is The Sandlot 2, Sandlot Harder. The Sandlot 2 is the made 12 years later unrequested sequel to The Sandlot, which was and still is a great family film. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go watch The Sandlot. Now, actually. No, seriously, go watch The Sandlot. You won't be sorry. And it'll help in a bit. No worries. I'll wait. Okay, good. You watched The Sandlot. What did I tell you? Good movie, huh? Even 20 years later, still a good movie. So moving on to The Sandlot 2. Take The Sandlot, which you just watched, throw it in the blender and hit the mix that shit button. The mush that dribbles out will be The Sandlot 2. Seriously. They took the basic plot from the first movie, pared down the characters a bit, moved it forward 10 years in time, threw in some girls, swapped a Babe Ruth signed baseball for a working model of a U.S. space shuttle, and crapped out The Sandlot 2. They even got the same guy to narrate the film, and include the same grating, foreshadowing, wait until the end to see what happens speeches that started to wear a bit thin in the first movie. A quick rundown for those of you who are actually too lazy to watch The Sandlot. I'm serious. Go watch it. It's a good movie. The heretofore unmentioned little brother of Smalls from the first film gets caught up in the middle of a turf war for The Sandlot, between a new group of kids, a trio of girl softballers, and a bunch of Little League players. After a good bit of montage, slow motion, and some new fast motion action, the boys and girls bury the hatchet and take on the Little Leaguers. Small's little brother, who loves rockets, ends up landing a big model rocket over the newly improved fence behind the Sandlot, and the rest of the film is basically a repeat of the first as the kids try all kinds of exciting things to get the shit back, eventually bringing down the fence and encountering a blind and apparently ridiculously deaf James Earl Jones, because he never hears the wall fall at all. First, the positives. James Earl Jones reprises his role as Mr. Myrtle, and there's a cameo from Mr. Bigglesworth, eh? How about that? That's pretty cool. Now let's compare the characters between the two films. You've got Smalls, the fast kid, the fat kid, the black kid, the younger brother, and the perv kid, who have been conveniently combined into the sequel into one person, the older brother and lanky kid, who've also been combined into one character, the irritating jerk Little League player, the irrelevant kid, who no one really cares about, this time split into 2 or 3 kids that no one really cares about, the dog, Mr. Myrtle, and the father whose prized possession is lost over Myrtle's fence by the respective Smalls in the different films. I suppose if you've never seen the first movie, this movie might be kind of appealing. If you've never seen The Sandlot, why would you start with The Sandlot 2? The Sandlot was funnier, relied less on crappy computer-generated graphics, and was all around more believable. Why this movie ever got made, I'll never know. They don't tell me these things. It's like they're not even trying, though. They have the same locations, including a pool and a carnival, and the same, why didn't you just come to the front door and ask for it back resolution. There are word-for-word lines repeated. They even have the same where are they now blurbs at the end, where they let us know that 2 or 3 of the girls were so irrelevant they go on to do nothing more than have kids. That's it. That's what they do. So at this point, if you're even asking me, should I go see The Sandlot 2 or should I watch it? You should probably go ahead and punch yourself in the face, and then watch it as punishment for being thick as a brick. No one should ever willingly watch The Sandlot 2. In fact, let's just pretend The Sandlot 2 never happened. It'll be best for everyone. And before I forget, there's actually a Sandlot 3, The Sandlot Heading Home, because why wouldn't we desecrate an old movie with an uncalled for sequel and not set up a sequel to that piece of crap? Yeah, I went ahead and watched that one too, just for fun of it. It was arguably better than Sandlot 2 because it pretty much had absolutely nothing to do with Sandlot 2. Sadly, its biggest drawback can be summed up in 3 words. Friggin' time travel. So there you have it. Be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/fairlyawesomepodcast. Follow us on Twitter at FAPcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep up on our video releases there. Leave your requests down in the comments below for any movies you'd like us to watch, because I'm really enjoying all that fun time watching them. And I'm going to go comfort my still weeping childhood. See you later, guys. I'm doing an 8.
No dice on those. Too much feedback.
Yeah, it was more that the sound was escaping.
Yep.
So I couldn't get it loud enough
Yep.
What I wanted was it loud enough that all I could hear was what the headphones were giving me,
Yep.
right? As opposed to when I hear it outside of it, I was hearing like
Yeah, I saw that.